How big was that win for the Giants yesterday?
It was huge, man. I was actually there. It was a great win for them, man. I mean, everyone knows how tough the Baltimore team coached by Harbaugh is, and to get a win like that, to have that, another comeback, fourth quarter win from Eli in the game, I thought it was huge. I thought it could be that type of confidence booster going forward, because obviously things haven't went their way, previous weeks.
And that said, an awful pass interference call on Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. So take us in the huddle. I'm sure that happened to you many times during the course of your career. Does something need to be said? Does something need to be overcome when a big play like that could cost you?
Yeah, man. You have to be able to kind of channel your emotions there and use the emotions that I know everybody on that defense is feeling at that point. Yeah, obviously you're pissed off because I felt as though being in the stadium, watching that play over and over on the Jumbotron and on TV later on that night, I thought, how can you call that? Cromartie is in great position. Yeah, it was a small tug on the shirt, but that was kind of like just jockeying. That wasn't necessarily, I don't think that tug in any regard influenced the wide receiver as far as anything as far as his ability to make a play on the ball. I just felt that the guy was in great position. You can't call a play like that. And that was just one of, I thought, 3 or 4 calls that went against the Giants that easily could have went the other way or been no calls, especially down the stretch in a fourth quarter game. You don't want to have calls like that, have the potential to, take a win from a team like that. So I thought, that call, I thought the roughing the passer on.
I thought that was weak.
I thought that was very weak. 2 steps. He didn't hit him in the head. He didn't do any excessive force. It was just 2-step, little small hit on the quarterback. It wasn't anything that put the quarterback in a off position or anything like that. So I thought that was weak as well. So, but again, I think going forward, these are the type of calls that the Giants have to overcome. They did on Sunday, and that's a confidence booster. So, I'm retired now. I can talk bad about referees and not have a fear of getting fined like I would be in previous years. So I just thought those 2 calls were really, really, really poor.
All right, let me talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the otherworldly talent that Odell Beckham Jr. has. But from my vantage point, I don't know how you felt, Justin. I don't think he's learned anything about how to control himself. Taking the helmet off to me was egregious. Could have cost the team the game. Had an opportunity, gave the Ravens a little bit more of an opportunity to make that pass to try to win the game. Well, what are your emotions about this guy? What are your feelings about this guy, Justin?
It's tough, and I'm being critical. I think it's warranted when you got a guy that is as talented as he is. I put him in the category of probably 1, 2, at least third best wide receiver in the league. Right. He has to understand the magnitude that his play, and obviously he played like a stud yesterday, and that's what we've come to expect from him. 2, how what he does is perceived by his locker room and by other people. If you talking about, you go back and talk about, he thought it was a target on him. Well, if you continue to do stuff like this, there is going to be a target on you, whether that's good or bad. But you're playing to it, so don't get upset when referees aren't going to call calls on your call or in your favor when you're doing stuff like this. I think he has to learn. And obviously we're nitpicking here, but I think these types of things can come back to hurt you at the worst time. It didn't hurt you on Sunday. Had a potential to. Obviously, they get 15 extra yards on the kickoff, where they're in better position to go down and score with at least not a lot of time. But you never know when things like this are going to hurt you. You never know when you think, oh, this is just showmanship, or me playing around or playing to the crowd is going to hurt you. And history shows that it does come back to hurt you. So I'm hoping that he figures this out. You can still be Odell Beckham Jr. and the crowd favorite and whatever else you want to call it without putting your team at jeopardy.
I'm wondering, though, Justin, is he so great, which he is, that the Giants are afraid to discipline him and say you can't do that? But Ben McAdoo can't pull him aside and say that's unacceptable, taking off your helmet? Is his greatness inhibiting them from disciplining him?
I hope not. I'll give you this analogy. No one in my time at the Giants was greater than Michael Strahan, and that could be arguably said of anybody in Giants history, with the exception of guys like Lawrence Taylor.
Right. Coach
Coughlin would not bat an eye at saying something astray if he thought it was warranted to help him stray as a player, helping the team in overall. At the end of the day, no player is greater than the team. I don't care who you are. No player. You got 10 other guys out there that go to bat for you every day. Don't put those guys in a predicament where it's just not good for the football team. I don't care who you are. And, I mean, obviously, the fact that we even having this conversation tells you how great Odell Beckham is as a player. I mean, you really can't say that too many other people have had the impact that he's had as a player in his first 2 to 3 years. I mean, it's unprecedented, I think. But with that said, man, all of us are held to a higher standard as far as what we do in cahoots with our team. No one's greater than the team. And Coach Coughlin used to always say, you can take the name
right
off the back of the jersey, because at the end of the day, none of us can play this game by ourselves. None of us are going to be successful. He can't. Odell, again, great player. That's not what we're saying here. But there's no way he can snap the ball, throw the ball, block, catch a touchdown pass, celebrate all in one. He has to have 10 other guys on there. So it behooves him not to put the other 10, and for that matter, the other 52 in a predicament that hurts the football team.